So let's focus now on the RadonEye Pro. That's why most of you here, I took a look at the list of registered attendees, and a lot of you have recently purchased the RadonEye Pro. So this is probably good timing for you. But for those of you who haven't, just to let you know, we're NRPP, NRSB listed, and we do have very strong traction among the professional community. I mentioned that we're in our third year, and in a really short period of time, we've really gained a lot of ground in the marketplace. We have over 1,000, 1,200 of these units out in the field, and almost 1,000 users. So it's really taken off. We talked about the 30 CPH, very, very accurate, easy, customizable report generation, which we're going to talk about today. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth for maximum connectivity, very feature rich, fast, easy technical support. This is the biggest issue that people come up with, when they call us, and once you're working with us, they're very happy about the level of speed that we get back to people. And, and this is something that they're not seeing typically, especially guys out there who are, one man, two man, or smaller companies. They're not getting the same kind of technical support. So we're real proud of that, 7 days a week. And I can tell you, we do get calls 7 days a week, but if you're out there, you're not on your own. Now, this is the most affordable solution out there in the market at $795 is the list price. And that includes everything, no upcharges or anything else there. So again, we don't sell it on price, but it is extremely affordable. And we have promotions going on all the time. Promotion today, for those of you who have attended the session. The kit comes with a full carrying case and a bag, tripod holder, extension cables, battery pouch. Doesn't come with a battery, but we'll talk a little bit about that in some of our other webinars. And so let's get right into it. Mobile app versus the dashboard. Mobile app, here's what you can do with it. Set up your account. You need to set up and complete your inspection on site. The only way to set it up and to start an inspection is through the mobile app. So you can't start it remotely. You can monitor it remotely, as we'll talk about with the dashboard, but set up and complete the inspection on site, register your devices, and you can generate, customize, and share your reports from the mobile app. A lot of our users like to do that. They'll do it on site or they'll do it in their truck right afterwards. But you can do that, but it's not necessary because we do have the web dashboard. Just so you know the way it works, it's a seamless transition from the app to the web dashboard. As soon as the test is done, you've uploaded the data to the phone. It'll automatically, as long as you have a cell connection, it'll automatically upload to the web dashboard, to our server, and you can sign on. The web dashboard is included in the package, so there's no upcharges for that. We're going to go into detail about the web dashboard, but what you can do with it is set up an account. You can do all your settings, so whatever information you put in these settings is what's going to appear on all of your reports, whether it's on the web dashboard or it's generated on the mobile app. So your name, company, licensing information, if states require it, phone number, company logo. We're actually about a month away, 6 weeks, from launching an upgrade of the report, which we'll talk to you about in much more detail. We'll probably have a webinar about that when it comes out to go through the details of it. But we're going to be upgrading, some of the look and feel of it. We're also going to be going. There are some ANSI ARST from the Radon side of things, regulations or protocols that we're going to be going along with as well. So we're in the testing phase on that. Monitoring, you can do real-time monitoring if you're connected on site to Wi-Fi. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Again, generate, customize, share your reports right from the web dashboard. A lot of people like to do that. I prefer to do it on a keyboard. One of the nice things about this, if you're out in the field and you have somebody in the office or at home, you can, as soon as you finish your radon test, the app is done, it automatically uploads. You're still out in the field, they can generate and customize the report, send it out. You can store completed inspection data and reports on the web dashboard. And then you've got sort of an admin section of it, device management, user management, and client management, and we'll show you a little bit more about that. So if we go back to the mobile app for a second, so now you see set up, do your reports, do your inspections through the app, and there's an administrative side to the web dashboard. It's a great combination. Some people use it more, some people less, but it's out there for you. On the mobile app, you can create an account, as we said before. So when you first get your unit, you create the account. Once you create the account, you're the admin, you're the administrator of the account, and we're going to talk about the differences. You verify your account, and that gets you started. So we've got some other, I got some other webinars where we go into real heavy detail on this, but we're just going to show you some of the screenshots on this. When you start, you start a new inspection, you get to the inspection page, you can set a wait time for up to 24 hours in advance. Measurement time, it's defaulted at 48 hours because that's what most inspectors are doing, but you can go up to 240 hours. We've got a lot of clients in Canada where they don't do a 48-hour test, who will do maximum length of 240 hours on the testing. So you can do that. If you do want to use Wi-Fi, you can set it up right through here. If you don't use Wi-Fi, you just go in and live, you just you connect with Bluetooth, and it's not necessary, but it's a nice feature. And you can turn off the display. There's a lot of inspectors, of course, don't want their clients or the real estate agents to see the display, during the middle of the, during the middle of the inspection. So once that's done, we have the waiting screen, and we'll go through this in more detail in some of the other webinars, but it's pretty simple to get through. Hit start, and you're ready to go. One thing to point out is you need to look at the top of the unit always, and the LED needs to say ready. And I'm going to talk about this in the troubleshooting, but this is one of the biggest things that comes up, is that I don't know if people start to press a lot of buttons, like my mom when she tries to download an email that I send her on her AOL account, but if it's not on ready, it's not going to start. But once it starts, and once you start getting data, you will see in the waiting area, you will see the current readings, you will see the temperature, the time, you will see all the information, and will be a chart once the data is available. Once it's finished, it'll say finish in the in the top of the unit. Again, always look at this. If it's not, it doesn't say finish, it's not done. Sometimes people will get out, do a 48-hour test, and if you get there and it's still running, people will call me in a panic. What happened? So if the power goes out during your inspection and then starts up again, the unit will start up again at the beginning of the hour in which it went out. And that's something that we've talked about in previous webinars, and I talk to people about all the time. So if you're in, let's say, hour 22 of a 48-hour test, and it goes out, the power goes down, and then it comes back up, it's going to start from the beginning of that 22nd hour and complete the rest of the, the rest of the test. So you'll get your full 48 hours, but it might not be in a 48-hour time frame, depending on how long that power was out. So once you hit confirm, you can view the results. You can do it right there, or again, it'll upload to the cloud server, and you'll be able to access the data from the cloud server. But you'll see it on the next screen right here. You click on the test data, spit that out, and you can either save that for later, or you can generate the report right away. So let's go to the dashboard. I'm going back and forth a little bit because I want to show you kind of what you can do with each thing. So you've completed your inspection with the phone. You're going back to the office. On the dashboard, start off with the monitoring status. Here's my 3 devices, and it'll tell you exactly where you are. This one is ready, which means it's ready to be used. RadonEye Pro, this one is actually finished, which means that a test that I ran is done. I need to go back on site, and now you know that you can hit confirm when you get on site, and there's going to be no issues. You're ready to go. So you can always, and this is a great way for you to know what's going on. And then this one, test one, is actually in a continuous monitoring phase. So it'll actually tell you what the radon level is. If I click on that, it'll tell you exactly what's going on and it'll give you all the details. The next is the inspection data. All your inspection data after you've done your inspections is stored here on the web dashboard. So you're not going to lose it. Once it's done, it's set up in here. It goes by, by the name of the unit. I haven't named them, but so it's defaults to the serial number. And this is the date and the times, the date of the inspections. And right here, it gives you all the information. Wi-Fi was on, display off, where it was. And one thing to note on this, there is no GPS in the unit itself. The GPS on the map is actually picked up from the GPS in your phone. So this is a question that comes up a lot. Sometimes it could be a little bit off, but typically it's pretty close. Like right now, it's got me exactly where I am in Santa Rosa, California, north of San Francisco. So, but sometimes it can be, as GPS can sometimes be down the block or a little bit. So it's not the unit itself. It picks it up from the GPS in the phone. So all your data is here. And when you're ready to do a report, you click on the data that you want to make the report on and click report. And we'll go through that real quickly in a couple of minutes here. Next is devices. So your registered devices are the devices that you as the admin have, and then the shared devices are the devices that you're sharing with your team, and you can switch between the two. And I'm going to go through the differences between the admin functions and the employee functions in a minute. And then you also have a section here where you can manage users. And I'm going to go into more detail on that. This is where you can add users. If you get a new employee, if you get a Radon runner, you can add them right here on the web dashboard. So it's all sort of an admin site for you. And finally, on here, you can do client management as well. I know a lot of you use Sephora or ISN or other, other management tools, but you do have that right here on the your web dashboard. So you've got your information about your clients, phone numbers, email addresses, and you can delete these and set these up as you'd like. Add new clients right here. One thing to note, and this comes up all the time, if the client information is entered on the dashboard prior to an inspection, only the account that entered the information can access it when you're generating a report on the mobile app. Which means that if you're admin or if you set up a client on here and then you send out a Radon runner to do a report or one of your inspectors on site, unless they entered the details on the dashboard in their own account, it won't show up on the app. They will have to manually put that in. And the reason for that is security reasons. We don't want everybody to have everybody's information. Some states, we're working really closely with New Jersey State Radon. They don't want any information about Radon, to be connected to a home. So that's the reason that we've had a lot of questions about that. And I know a lot of people would really love it if you can just put it in there and access it. But just to be clear, if you put it in yourself in the system under your account, you can access it when you're doing the report on site. Otherwise, there's this a little box and you can type it in. How to add new users. This is tip number 2, and this one comes up all the time. So have the new user create their own account first on the mobile app. Now, do not have them log in with your admin account. And the reason for that is if 2 people cannot be on the account, 2 users cannot be on an account at the same time. And this happens all the time. I get people get knocked out of accounts because they let their employees use the regular admin account once until they realize what's going on. So don't let them log in with your admin account, or otherwise, if you're in the middle of something, they'll just knock you out of the system. So have them create their own account on the mobile app, then go to the user tab on the web dashboard and click on add new user. And when that happens, this little screen will pop up and the admin can send up to 10 invitations at one time. So they're invitation emails, I think you just can separate it with a comma, and you can send those out. And then the admin can check the status of the invitation, whether it's pending or activated. So what happens is your employee will get an email, says you've been invited to join RadonEye Pro, and that tells you by who, and then you click this sign up page, and it'll actually take you right to a create your account page. So everybody in your company should have a page with their own account. This makes life a whole lot easier, and nobody will get knocked out. Tip number 3, admin functions versus employee functions. This is a question that come up all the time. So we're going to go through this. I can only go through it quickly because we have a limited time, but just want to get this. And this is going to be up on our website, and we're going to actually send you a copy of the recording of this, probably by the beginning of next week. If anybody reaches out to me, I can send you a PDF of this as well. So the admin, the person that signs up first, who owns the account, can register and manage devices, register, edit, delete, invite and manage other employees, as we just went through, manage device access for employees. If you want employees to have access to only certain units, you can do that. You're totally in charge of that. You can manage the inspection data and manage company information, i.e. company name, logo, will be available to all employees when they're generating the report. You put that in there. Now, here's what the employee can and can't do. The employee cannot register and manage devices. That's for the admin function. And they cannot invite other employees. They can start and finish inspections with the device, which is authorized by the admin. They can access inspection data. The data itself is shared. Manage client information, not shared. So their own client information they can manage, and they can manage Radon reports, but this is not shared among everybody. And they can manage the exported raw data, which each time you do a inspection on the phone app, there is raw data log of the hourly and information. Not fancy, but you can export that as a text file. So as far as sharing, devices are shared with all employees by default, and inspection data is shared. The data itself is shared with all employees. Now, if you have questions about this, please let me know. And again, we'll send this out to you, but this questions come up all the time, who can do what? And this gives you kind of a good idea, how the whole process works. How to generate a report on the mobile app. Again, we've got a whole webinar on this, and we're getting kind of behind on time. So I'm not going to go through there's a little, I'll just click it on here real quick, but there's a little kind of a video that we go through, but basically choose the inspection data, client name. You can add notes on here. You can add measurement information and measurement environment. You can upload your logo. And as I said before, if your logo has been updated on the website, on the dashboard in the settings area, it'll appear on the all your reports. And once you've uploaded information in the comment section, it should be there every time you open it up. So if you want to put a little bit of information about what the Radon results are, you can do that right there. And I'll show you in a minute a sample of the actual Radon report. If you want to generate your report on the web dashboard, again, you're in inspection data, you find your data, you click on report, and it'll actually go through. I'm going to show you this one. So you pick your data right there. You'll see the inspection data. Now you can either add your logo here or it'll be there already. Pick your client name. Now you scroll through, you can add information. You can type in up to 1,000 characters right there. Cut and paste, or you can make a image file, upload that. Let's say we did it in the basement. Here's the information about the test. One thing I want to talk about real quick here, we just jumped past it, but right now on the reports, there are overall average and their EPA protocol average. The EPA average removes the first 4 hours of the test. And the reason why we had that on there is many states require it and some don't, some do. One of the questions we've been asked many, many times is, how do we get rid of one if we're not using it? We don't want confusion. And we totally understand that. In the new update that will be coming out again this summer, you will have a choice. So you can pick EPA or overall average. So we're eliminating that issue. So that's been something that has caused people to to call us and say, hey, could you do us a favor and get rid of that? A lot of people just white it out on a editor, but that's part of our upgrade. You'll be able to choose EPA or overall average. Okay, we'll just complete that. Now you put a picture in there if you'd like of the house or just some information. Here's the radon readings, and you can go through the final, check it out page by page, and then you can download it. And here's what the report looks like. Most of you have done it. You've got your report information in the front. You've got your measurement environment right here, and you have 1,000 characters right there for typing. Comment section, right? This page is a chart. This gives you all the information. Again, EPA protocol or overall average you'll have a choice. And there's going to be a little bit of a design change, but this is what it looks like right now, what the calibration dates are, and wait time, all the information is right there. Or you can put a picture in. So it's a 5-page. If you don't want to use those extra pages, they're automatically eliminated. So that covers real quickly, the first four tips. Again, if you want more details, want to get more in depth, go to our webinar page on the ecosense.io website, and you can really dive deeply into the customization of the report, or how to use the mobile app. We have one on how to use the website, the web dashboard, and I see there's a ton of questions. I hope that David's been helping out and answering them. If he hasn't, I'll try to get to them in a few minutes, but let's just talk about a few things that come up all the time. And some of these seem really basic. I'm sorry if they're too basic, but given how many times I get these questions, we'll go to start your inspection. You need to make sure, I mentioned this before, that the device says ready on the display. Otherwise, the inspection can't start. I can't tell you how many times I've got calls where people can't get things to go, and for whatever reason, it's not ready. You need to initialize it first. That takes about 3 minutes. And then it needs to say ready on the display. And then you go through the process as I showed you before. When you get to the site and you want to finish it, it needs to say, you want to confirm and finish it. It needs to say finish in the window. Make sure it says that. And then you just hit confirm. One question, when you hit confirm, it automatically will upload the data to the website. To the web dashboard. So one thing I wanted to mention is that it has to say confirm, and this happens a lot. So finish, confirm. If you unplug it, and this question comes up a lot too, if you're in a rush, you don't have time to finish it, and you unplug it, I get a lot of panic calls. Did I blow it? No. All the data is stored in the unit itself. So you can unplug it, take it back to your office, take it back home, plug it back in, and it'll have to go through the initialization of the 3 minutes. And then the software will basically default to the confirm, and you can finish it. I always suggest finish it off right there. I just feel better myself knowing it's done, but you don't have to. Logo. A lot of questions about this. Upload your company logo in the setting page of the web dashboard once. And this way, you shouldn't have to do it again. Sometimes I'll get calls where you do have to. I don't know if it's the phone or whatever reason it is, but the vast majority of times, and I've gotten a lot of feedback on this from users, is that it will work. If you upload that to your settings page on the dashboard, it'll come up in both your web dashboard generated reports and on the reports for your phone that you've done on the mobile app. Battery, first of all, it doesn't come with a battery. If you need information on batteries, we have done some extensive testing in-house because there's a ton of batteries out there, and we have found a big disparity between of quality between the batteries out there. So we've got 2 batteries that we have been suggesting for the last about 18 months or so, and we have had little, if any, issues with it. One thing to note, when you're using a battery, do not stack it directly under the device when running an inspection. This can cause issues such as spikes in the radon readings. We had one of our best clients in the country who's got tons of these and is out there every day, had this issue. He had a beautiful idea. He was going to get batteries, put them on a tripod, and he stacked them up on top of each other along with a mobile hotspot. Put them all out there in the field. I think he got about 20 of them, and he was getting readings that were spiking into the 200s, and could not figure out why for weeks and weeks and weeks. Swapped out units, did this whole thing, and when we sent a picture to the engineers at the manufacturer, they immediately said, take it off and there'll be no issues. Take the unit off of the battery. So if you're using a battery, don't put it on underneath. Almost last but not least, screenshot. If you encounter an error code, and sometimes it happens, you'll get an error 400, error 50, whatever it is. When you're using the software, please always take a screenshot to share with our tech team. This will save us, save a lot of time. And if they see a screenshot, they'll, we'll know, or they'll know, pretty much exactly what it is, what the issue is, instead of us having to ask, hey, can you do us a favor and do a screenshot? So please always, if you encounter any issues, whatever it is, screenshot it, screenshot it and send it to us, and it'll help move things along much quicker. Here's the information on how to reach out to us. You can reach us at support@ecosense.io, and there's a link on the app itself at the beginning of the app. You can find a link if you need it. There's also on our website, and you can call that phone 669-209-2233, comes directly to me. I'm your first line of support if it's not too technical, or if I've done enough with this where I can help most people most of the time. If I can't, I will expedite it for you. So start, finish, logo, battery, screenshot, and reach out. One more thing we're going to cover, and really getting on, tight on time, but this has come up many times. If you're in a rural area and you can't, and you can't get cell coverage, sometimes you can't get connected to the unit. So this is how to log into the RadonEye Pro when there's no cell coverage in the unit. I'm going to go through this quickly. Log into the app and connect to the device in an area where there is cell coverage. I know sometimes you don't know before you go out, but if it's going to be in a rural, remote area, a lot of users that I'm working with will just do it in their home, make sure that there's no, no ifs, ands, or buts, they're going to be covered. Log in, don't log out of the app when you're on the way there. Once you're on site, you'll be able to connect to the device, start the inspection. During the inspection, you don't have to leave the app open. Before picking up the device on site, repeat the procedure. Log in where cell coverage is available. Stay logged into the app until you're back on site. When you're on site, you can connect via Bluetooth, press confirm, same as you would on the on a standard cell coverage area. Once you've reached an area with cell coverage, the data will automatically upload to the server. So it's a lot of info there, but just remember that. And again, we're going to send this to everybody. And I've had a million times this question asked, especially again in rural areas. We don't want you driving out 2 hours to a site and you can't connect. So this has helped a lot of people out in the, in the hills, all over the country. So that was number 5. One thing I haven't included in previous webinars is calibration options. And this is on our website under the FAQ area. Bowser Mourner in Ohio. I think they're the largest radon lab in the country. So they are one. And we also have an arrangement with KSU, Kansas State Radon Lab in, in Manhattan, Kansas, I believe they are. And I would call both to see the pricing is about the same, $135 to $150. It's usually a couple of weeks on a turnaround time. So that covers that. Our customers love us. Hopefully you guys will too. We won't go through that. We're partners with Arst, Internashi. We do a ton of work with Karst in Canada, ASHI, and a ton of local chapter associations. So we're kind of running out of time. We have a ton of questions here. So we'll answer a few, and then I will promise that myself and/or David will get back to everybody and to answer the questions. We have an incredible amount of feedback here, which is wonderful, and we appreciate. Let me see if I can go through just a couple of questions here that haven't been answered. It looks like David has really been on top of it. Somebody's asking if it's calibrated in advance. Yes, the units are calibrated by our factory, and so you have the 1 year, 1 year calibration for the annual. There are a couple of states, Pennsylvania and in Illinois, where they require a initial calibration by a licensed in their state calibration lab, which would be KSU or Bowser Mourner. So if you have questions about that in Pennsylvania or Illinois, please let me know. But we have a ton of clients in both, and it hasn't been an issue. Both Bowser and KSU also do performance tests if you need them as well. So calibration, see, once a year. What about cellular reception? Nope, somebody's asked, William's asking about cellular reception. We did cover that. And William, I went through the procedure on how to make sure that you've got coverage. Let's see what else. I have an office admin. Some of the questions are too long to answer right now. And somebody else is asking about battery backups. And I will send out to everybody who has attended the recommendations for the batteries. Like I said, we've had really good success, and we went through a lot of them. I wouldn't just randomly pick one, especially on a price, on a price level, because we've had a lot of issues with that. So we want to make sure these work for as long as you need. One of them works over 70 hours, and one of them almost 100 hours. So let's see. A lot of people are asking the cost. As I said, the cost of calibration ranges between $135 and $150. And I think if you do multiple units, they will give you a discount on that, and you do pay for shipping as well. It looks like there's a lot of continuous monitoring will run until stopped by the inspector. Yes, this is true, Ralph, and I can talk to you about that. If anybody has any other questions. Somebody says, I haven't purchased this yet because I've read it isn't certified for home inspection reports. That is not true. We are certified by NRPP and NRSB, and our reports are, are again certified and used in every state. One state, New Jersey, has a different setup, which you have to have a certified lab, which we do have in New Jersey, so that the inspector can't send it directly to them, but we are good to go in all 50 states. Let me answer, see if I can find another couple of questions. Okay, we're going to send the battery information. Everybody's asking about that. Let's see what else. What sort of image files does everyone have in the report? if you're asking the type, it's any, it could be a JPEG or a PNG, or I believe a TIFF works as well. Colt, I can actually send you some examples of some of the information. Some people just put a little blurb about radon. Some people will put information about what does it mean if it's between 2.4 and let's say 2 and 4.0. What does it mean if it's over 4.0? And there's all kinds of different ways to do it. Some people do a nice little kind of a cartoon looking thing. I'll send you a bunch of different ones, Colt, and then if you need any more, I'll see if I can rustle some up. So looks like we've got some good positive feedback in here. And do we include radon in the cost of the inspection? Joe, that's up to you. I do most people that I talk to do add, see it as an add-on, an ancillary, like kind of like mold or sewer scope, where they add to it anywhere between 125 and 200, depending on where you are. I do have a lot of inspectors who are putting, making a package, and they include it, especially in places like Colorado, Ohio, where it's a very high radon area. So we can talk about that. I believe